Chinese name fella versus a Chinese name fella. Like working at the Chinese restaurant, huh? Yeah. Okay, so we got a India versus an Inca. I like that combination. Those are actually two civs I really like in Age of Empires 3 for winning. I have a pretty good track record with both of them, so definitely seeing an India fighting an Inca is up my alley. I like that. Because we're going to see in real time on Great Plains which civ ends up doing better here, which should be totally cool. Yeah, I would say in this matchup, it really comes down to who is the best with their civ, honestly, because in a 1v1, I could really give props to either side. Okay, so it looks like the Inca is going to start off with 2 concha houses with their wood, which I think is a solid move. These are no ordinary houses that the Inca have, these concha houses. They actually trickle you food, right? And because he has 2 of them, it's 0.6 times 2, which amounts to 1.2 food per second. So that's pretty good. You know, he's getting 1 food every second basically, and then every 6 seconds he's getting 2 food. So that's pretty awesome. Quite useful actually. So yeah. Wait a minute, no, every 5 seconds he's getting 2 food. Never mind. But same idea, you know. Pretty much he's getting a good food economy there. Let's see what the decks are. Mod. Why is it called mod? Like he modified the deck for the tournament or something? Yeah. Now one thing I will say, his H2 is a little bit bare here. All he has is his Vils, his gold, his ranged infantry attack, Team Inca Bridges, and then Conchicha Brewing. This is telling me that he's probably going to go for a fast fortress. Look at the H3. Like, the H3 is very well developed here. So, looking at a deck like that is telling me he doesn't plan on staying around in H2 very long. He's going for a fast fortress. And then looking at the India, who's getting distributivism, wood trickle by the way, since it's always the first card to go with India. The India is looking sort of semi-fast fortress-ish. Right, they could potentially go all in with Sepoy, or they might just go for a casual Sepoy pressure while developing their H3. In that sense, it really comes down to how good the Inca can prepare their fast fortress. If they do it good, they have a real shot, but if they botch it, then it's going to be a clear win for the Indian civ. But we'll see, though, we'll see. What treasure is India again right now? So they're getting a wood treasure, is that right? Okay. Also, notice how the India is going for a 14 villager age up, so they did not go for the only 10 villager age up. Very key right there, right? And definitely picking up that wood treasure is going to be great for India, since Indian villagers, if you didn't know, cost wood. So it allows the India player to effectively be gathering some more food than they normally do, because they won't need as much wood now if they can at least get a few wood treasures at the start like that. So what wonder are they going for? So they're going Agrifort, I'm assuming? Oh, they're going for a forward Agrifort. Very interesting. And he is pressuring the Vils too to slightly stall his age up time. Very interesting. So that'll have a bit of an effect as well. Right. Oh, interesting. We see the Inca Explorer fighting the elephants there. Pretty nice to see some Explorer combat there. So this choice by the India player to plop it up over here is a pretty good spot. It's a natural choke point between this native site and this water. You got a mine over here. You got some hunts over here. Hunts in this area, hunts in that area. It secures a big portion of the map and gives you some really good map control. So the India player's decision making there is quite nice. Idleville. Beep, 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 beep. Idleville. Watch out for that. That's one of the most important things you gotta make sure you do with any civ. Never idle your vills. It's a bad, bad idea. Because if you idle your vills, it's a ton of villager seconds gone to waste, and you really pay the price for it. Yeah. So we do see 3 Inca priestesses here to convert these treasure guardians. Kind of do the wololo type thing. Wow, converts all of them. And effectively gets a 320 XP treasure. Now, that's good for Inca. That tells me that the Inca Fast Fortress will likely be successful, just because of that huge treasure they just got. As me and Phoenix were talking about on Friday, when I was doing some co-casting, there's not a lot of good treasures on the Great Plains map. So, if you can get the 320 XP one, you're in pretty good shape, since that's one of the few really good ones here. So, definitely the Inca player is looking really nice right now. Because if the India player got that treasure for whatever reason, it would be very devastating. So the fact that Inca got it kind of keeps them in the game almost, in a way. Right, so what again now, they start with 700 gold. Now they're getting 5 villagers, so that's typically what we call a naked fast fortress, meaning you're going for age 3 without any sort of stops or anything. Not stopping for military, not really stopping for anything. Trying to get the fastest possible age 3 timing. Right, now the India player is queuing up Sepoy right now. Right, looks like he already got a batch of about 5 of them out, and now he's queuing up another one, so at least to me it looks like he, at the very least, is going to develop Sepoy for a little bit. It's hard to say exactly. Oh, wait a minute now. He is going for a full push here, because he just went for his diplomatic intrigue card. Yep, basically if you're going for an all-out H2 push as India, you're going to start by queuing the Sepoys at your Agra Fort, and then eventually follow up with your diplomatic intrigue card. That way you can establish an armament alliance and get access to their Delhi cavalry unit right away with that 400 export that you should have at that point. That way you have a huge mass of musket units and a couple of supporting hand calves to deal with skirmishers. It's a pretty good setup, right? Also, the India's making sure to get market techs done, including professional hunters, which is the second hunting upgrade, so they already have hunting eagles. Very important to afford the big food costs on these Sepoys. Oh, going for 4 villagers followed by 6 Azaps. Interesting. So going for more of the greedy approach. I think that's pretty good, considering your opponent is already in age 3. So you need just a little bit more economy to keep up with them, probably. And then those Azaps will definitely help against any sort of ranged shock infantry that the Inca player does, basically. Oh, got their fortress up. Very powerful. So did he send that through the Machu Picchu? Yep, sent Machu Picchu to get access to this big giant fort here. And now the Inca player will be able to train up some elite macemen at it. Okay, so going with elite macemen. That should be a pretty solid unit against cavalry, for sure. So, okay, so training 5 macemen and then shipping 5, so gonna have like 10 macemen to work with. That should be pretty substantial. Let's see what he pulls off with that. Now, I don't know what he's gonna do for population space. He seems to be going negligent on his housing space there, yeah. Oh, yep, that's the one thing you can do with fortresses in the Inca Civ. You can actually garrison your military inside of the fortress, and it actually negates their population cost against you as long as they're hiding out in this big fortress there, which is pretty cool, because it allows you to stack more units into your army than you normally can. So he's actually using a pretty nifty mechanic of the Inca that we rarely ever be used in professional games. At least I haven't seen people use them a lot in professional games. Yeah, basically taking advantage of the military garrison in the fort thing to get your pop stacking ability up pretty much. Yeah. Alright, so it's gonna queue up some more macemen and gonna ship in the Boulez warriors. Going very strong on the anti-cavalry. I'm just worried you're not getting enough in the anti-infantry department, because clearly the backbone of every Indian army in a 1v1 is going to be the Sepoys. And the cavalry is going to be a supporting role in the form of the 3 Delhi consulate shipment, as well as the 4 Sawar shipment from the home city. So you kind of want to go anti-infantry if you're fighting in India. Unless you see them develop stable and go hard on Sawars, which is, you know, kind of one of the rarer things to see. So right away we got 8 Bolaz Warriors, we got 15 Macemen here. Also gonna send the other batch of Bolaz Warriors in too. I'm surprised we don't see any Huarica fighters here to deal with these Sepoys. That's a little surprising. Okay, so the India reaches Main Street with the Shamanar Gate, giving them a free Mahout. Now, I think the Mahout isn't going to get a lot of good use here right now because the Inca player did indeed go anti-cavalry like crazy. Perhaps the Inca player went heavily on anti-cavalry because he knew that the India might go semi-fast fortress, since that's their preferred mode of winning 1v1s. So yeah, in that sense, at least the Inca should be immune to these elephants now. Also, look at the good handiwork these maces do against the Agrafort. They got a siege of about 90, so they're good at bashing down huge structures. The Agrafort is down, losing that map control. Now the macemen are going to move on to the consulate, taking away 200. Ooh, look at this. Cancels out his British alliance. That's pretty critical. See, what that ended up doing is, because the India player couldn't reach his British alliance, that's actually going to cut down the HP on his entire army now. Because British consulate allies increases your HP. The fact that the Inca player was able to cancel that out by taking the consulate out is going to make the Zarumi weaker, it's going to make the Sepoys weaker, it's going to make the Azaps weaker than they would be if they were under the British banner. Giving the Inca player a little bit more of an advantage in taking him out now before he gets that consulate rebuilt. So it looks like now these macemen count siege troopers. Yes, they do. So you gotta be careful of these irregulars here. These irregulars will shoot multipliers into your macemen, so you have to be a little bit cautious though. Yeah, it looks like he ended up losing them all, unfortunately, because these regulars actually do 42 damage to the macemen because of their siege trooper tags, so you gotta be careful of that sort of thing. Watch your troops. Yep, very good. Don't go in there. You don't want to lose them. Alright, so how much Sepoys is the India on? So the India is on 15 Sepoys, plus he has a Mansabdar. The Mansabdar is sort of a commander unit that you can train from the Shamanar Gate. And you can make them for really every unit in the Indian roster, from their infantry, cavalry, and even their siege units. So all the Mansabdar does is basically boost up the stats of the nearby unit that it is. So Mansabdar Sepoy will boost nearby Sepoys. Mansabdar Gurkha will do it with Gurkhas. Mahout one will do it with Mahouts, and so forth. So which one is this? So it's only the 2 Mahout shipments, so it's the smaller one. He also has the big boy one, but this one costs a whopping 1,000 food. So if you're struggling for food, you have to start with the smaller 2 Mahout shipment. But if you have the 1,000 food in your pocket, go for the big boy one. He'll help you out a lot there. Also, looks like Inca has a batch of Jimu runners now. Basically hand cavalry to deal with skirmishers. So looks like he's got some of that right there. The India player does get his consulate back up and is going for that British alliance now. It's mostly critical for the elephants because the elephants gain quite a bit of HP from the British alliance, whereas the amount on the infantry, pretty negligible. The main reason for going British alliance with India is for the elephants. Because if I think you notice right there, the elephant's HP went up by about 50 or so, which is quite good. Whereas for the Sepoys, went up by like, I don't know, like 8 or 10 or something. Not a huge deal. Can make a little bit of a difference, but not a huge one. But for the elephant, makes quite the difference. Alright, so looks like the Inca player, what is he up to? He is getting more macemen. He is on the attack dance at the community plaza, which is going to boost up his damage rate. India is going for British East India Company to boost the stats on his Sepoys by 10% HP and attack. So that should be pretty good for those. So India just added in a batch of redcoats from their consulate, so a bit more anti-cav. Let's see how these macemen end up doing over here, right? If you can, try to get rid of those irregulars because they're doing 42 damage to your macemen now, so you might want to get rid of them. Wow, look at that maze swing. Lily's sending the set points flying in the air. I didn't know that they did that. Look at them flying in the air now. Whoa, look at them. They're getting ragdolled across the grass. Oh wow, yeah, they're getting ragdolled. Look at that stuff. That's insane. I didn't know they get ragdolled by those things. Yep, going flipping around like a frog. Whoa, that one went flying even farther. Whoa, what? Look at what he did. He went sort of twitched a little bit there. Oh man, that was pretty good. So yeah, these basemen are pretty repeatable. Big time. I mean, if we look at the stats real quick, it's 364 HP, 52 splash with about 2.5, 52 damage with 2.5 splash, quite solid. Even has pierce armor too, so has a little bit of range immunity there. Even in crush damage, has about 10% crush armor too. So yeah, that's quite good. So the India now gets the siege elephant shipment in. This is really a culver and mortar hybrid, so great against buildings and great against other artillery pieces. So that's really all it's good against. I don't know how these siege elephants are going to come into play here, but we'll see. Biggest thing to worry about with these guys is that they have a cavalry tag. Or at least they have a light range cavalry tag, so you do have to be careful with fighting skirmishers, which we don't see of any of them yet from the Inca player, but I believe the Bolaz warriors do have an anti-light cavalry multiplier, yeah, so the Bolaz warriors might be a serious problem here for those siege ellies. We'll see. We'll see right away if they are. So more macemen in for the Inca player. Seems to be working well for him, so he's going to keep making more of those. Chimu Runner going to scout around to see what they could find in the India base that they might be interested in. There's a wood line here. This is some mining here. Wood line could be targeted, but did cause a lot of detouring. I would maybe push from this side and go after the buildings perhaps with the macemen. Get the barracks down, get the stable down, get this barracks down, and you know, burn through a lot of their wood stockpiles to have to rebuild all that stuff. So yeah, that looks like what he's doing. He's going right after the product, and then he pulls back because he sees how many range troops that the India player has. So what are you going to do about those range troops? Huh? Are you going to go jungle bowmen? Are you going to go Huarica fighters? What is the plan for all this heavy infantry here? Because heavy infantry, if you didn't know, does have some hand armor, plus the HP on the set points is pretty solid as well. So, I mean, you're going to want to have some sort of skirmish maybe to deal with. Just telling you. Yeah, the priestesses are joining into the fray as well. Does he hope to, like, convert some of these units, perhaps? We'll see if he can pull it off or not. Alright, he pulls back here, he pulls back here, splits up like a banana split, probably to divert the Indians' attention. Where's he going with these guys? He's going, sticking in a close formation, and he's engaged. I think he fumbled there. He fumbled a little bit. He was gonna go for a committed fight, and then he pulled out and chickened. So I think there he fumbled. And what's going on down here now? We got two macemen, the Bolaz warriors, and then the priestesses there. In that matchup, it looks like it's getting completely cooked. Not good. You can't be a banana splitting like that because you just don't have the substantial numbers needed to deal with these very high HP splash elephant units here. Also forced to do the moon dance at the community plaza to generate wood, about 0.81 wood per second. Going for the Chimu support card to increase the hit points on Chimus by 20% and get some 10 Chimus. I really don't think you need cavalry. You need anti-heavy infantry. You need archers. You need Huaricas. You need one of your anti-heavy infantry troops, which we're not seeing. So I can't tell you what's going on here. Seen some good fights by the Inca player, but he's kind of losing that momentum real fast against this India. Heck, the Inca player even has a better score, he just doesn't have the right army. And it's going to cost him really bad here. Pops over before on the other side and is forced to retreat back since he doesn't have any sort of archer or anything like that to try to fight these things, which is not good. It's quite bad actually, so yeah, big time. Alright, TC is now under siege. I think this should be a quick pickup here for the India player since he does have the siege elephants supporting it as well. Quite good. Yeah, I think this is a win for the Indians. I don't see any comeback coming in from the Inca player. He just doesn't have the wood supply to get the archers out fast enough. Is going to try to ship in the Huerta players though, but that should have happened a long time ago. The fact that it took you this long to get those, very bad. Awfully terrible actually. Definitely shouldn't have waited that long for it. Because now he's going to pay the price with the match. Really not good. Just cleaning up the rest of his forces and should be a clean win there. Yep, even chasing the Bills right now. Jan Michael sent us a smiley face. A happy smiley face too. Thank you for the happy smiley face. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Got a lot more matches to go through tonight. I clean up these preliminary round ones so we can get into the round of 64 ones today, later today actually at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. depending on when I can start, and we'll probably spend a number of hours on those, which should be pretty neat. GG, yep, very nice. Alright, so let's move on to the next one now. I'll scroll and find it.